WROL broadcast. I am 8mail, and with me today we have M4,
Hello.
Kage,
Hello.
who's looking to be on a really long podcast today, and Sheriff Lobo.
Hello, everyone.
And Loot had more mouth surgery. Doing it without him, we got a lot of tunes to talk about. Me and Kage's raid shift is on, so this is going to be a challenging one. So we're going to kind of breeze through a lot of these characters. So let's start with the tune of the month. Kage, I'll start with you. Who is your vote for the tune of the month?
I'll take Black Flash
I
for no reason.
I don't think too many people are going to disagree with you. M4,
Yep. Black Flash.
Sheriff Lobo,
Same, definitely, by far.
and Loot voted for Jay, and Rebirth 3'd him, loved him. So we will say that he. I could see a point for Jay, but there's no way you could vote anybody other than Black Flash. Black Flash was just so ridiculous. And while we're on the topic of Black Flash, we'll make this semi-quick because I don't think anybody's going to vote him under S tier. Is there any dissenting views on that one? Doesn't. I hear the crickets. So yeah, Black Flash, triple S tier, obscene character. Anybody have any comments on him before we move on? Because he is pretty ridiculous.
I'll say quickly, his turn meter control was obviously his best feature. His damage can be pretty good, but his ability to wipe out the entire team's turn meter is massive. I would kind of contrast him with Azrael. I remember when he came out, Hate, you did a bunch of videos with Azrael by himself, and he could take on an enemy team. And I feel like Black Flash, to be most effective, he has to have somebody else to do the damage to get a kill to then, ramp him up and keep that going, because he's not completely reliable for damage to get a kill on himself. But he's still super S.
Yeah, he doesn't feel as broken on defense because you're not as scared of him because you can plan and deal with him. But on offense, he's just absurd. I mean, just absolutely absurd.
And I hate him because now we have to revisit quite a few S tiers.
That's part of the reason why this list is so long, by the way.
He might invalidate quite a few, so we'll see.
And then, before we move on to the characters, just real quick, we want to give Grim Reaper a big salute for winning the Siege Pot. And M4, if you want to just do the invitation to everyone for the Siege Pot and explain what that is real quick.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have to be polite about it. But anyway, so to make Siege interesting, at the dojo, my dojo, you can sign up for a Siege Pot, just $10, and you get into the Siege tournament, the dojo tournament. And whoever ranks highest, you don't have to be world's finest, just highest amongst the participants, you get to take home the sweet pot. So right now, I think there are 9 sign-ups, and I'm expecting quite a few more. So if you're interested, just sign up at the dojo. You know where to find me, Twitch, twitch.com/M4Y15.
And it's, and I did have my challenge against Chosen. He is the new pro level 70 player. Kage, that you've been dethroned. Chosen is pretty good. I'll give him credit. But the last 2 sieges we faced was a Lex carry siege, and this siege was probably the easiest siege ever. So, so we'll see how the rematch goes next month when things look like they're going to be harder with MJ. And then anyone's invited to the Siege Pot. So one of the requirements is you do have to record every video. So if Whale Chick or as Loot and was it Prim that came up with the name Twin Slayer? Is that what we're calling her now? So, or Twin Slayer Legend want to join? You guys are welcome, but you do have to record every match and show it. So and you've been very reluctant to do that to show your amazing siege abilities. And then yeah, so Siege Pot's really fun. You can win a little bit of money, so feel free to join in. And with that, let's get this show rolling so that Kage doesn't get too upset. First on the list, we'll just kind of breeze through it. No changes. Ares, he was a Siege toon. He was a C before. It looks like we all ranked him a C again. I kind of thought about doing a B, but it's just not quite there. Next on the list was Batman Beyond. He was a B before. Me and Loot wanted to downgrade him to a C, but it looks like he is staying a B. So we'll, don't think there's any discussion there. Barda. Looks like she was an A, and it looks like the only person that voted her would be an A. Sheriff, you wanted to have some comments about Big Barda and why you wanted to downgrade her to a B?
Yeah, so I gave her a B because going into this siege, I was really scared of her, and she turned out to be less scary than I imagined. So you would think that with the flashes going, she would proc her taunt nonstop, and that didn't happen. And for over half of siege, I was too scared to bring the full bonus against her, so I used Lex or Martian Manhunter, and then apparently, once I caught on to the trick, it was no problem to defeat her going full bonus against a full bonus. So for that reason, I decided to demote her from an A to a B.
All right, and it looks like the rest of us pretty much agree with that. She never taunts. I mean, I can't get behind a character that never taunts. So I think something's busted on her. I don't know what it is, but for that reason.
Yeah, I kept waiting for one of those matches to go sideways and her to go nuts, and it never happened a single time.
All right, we already talked about Black Flash, who was an S. Black Mask. He was an A before. Everybody's kind of keeping him at an A. So I think we'll just move on from him. Solid character. Next on the list, Impulse, one of the new characters. Sheriff Lobo, we'll start with you again. You ranked him a B.
Yeah, maybe he's an A, but I don't really like him. His second move is the only one that is any good. And if he wasn't the fastest in the game, that wouldn't be any good. If he wasn't the fastest, I think Wally would still be better than him because he speeds up. He gives your team buffs. He gains speeds up. He gains evasion up. Impulse's kit just seems all over the place and almost self-defeating. It needs a way to actively gain evasion up since the rest of his kit is built around that. So I don't really like him that much.
Kage, do you have any comments on him? I'll take that as a no. M4, you gave him an A. What are your thoughts?
I thought about this. I was on the fence whether he's a B or an A, but I remember we gave Wally West an A rating.
Oh shit, I was on mute.
Well, wait your turn. So he's the fastest toon that can do turn meter down. So by that virtue, I think he deserves an A. And also I heard that if you slot him on your team, you will never lose. So I'm giving him an A.
All right, Kage.
Basically, I'm echoing whatever Sheriff Lobo thought. Like, why did you give an evasion character meter down abilities? Like, you need to be hit, yet he's never going to get hit because you never get a turn. And if you get a turn, his evasion ups don't even matter. So his kit's really all over the place, like Lobo said. So I think he's more like a C character, B character. Like, I would never touch him, ever.
Yeah, I disagree pretty heavily. I love Impulse. I think he's a great character.
Because he does a stun.
Well, not even because of his stun. Even if he didn't have a stun, I think he's a great character. He's replaced. I mean, the few times I would slot Castaway Green Arrow, he is now completely replaced him because he does so much more turn meter down. When he does stun, it's 2 turns, so it's obscene. And his evasions, even though he doesn't get a ton of them, he evades more for me than stupid Harley Quinn. So I do find it pretty useful. I feel like he's pretty good on a wide variety of teams. And then his triple attack is awesome, especially with Deadman, because then he does 6 attacks in a row and kills quite a bit of things, even though he doesn't do real high damage. So, I don't know. I'm pretty sold on him. I think he's a really good character. I actually teetered between S and A, so. All right, so it looks like we loot voted A as well, so he will make it into the A category. Jay Garrick. Looks like we all voted him an A. We didn't have anybody marked that you want to discuss him, but I definitely feel like we should chat about him a little bit because he's one of the surprise reworks because we thought he was a T, We rated him a B right at his initial rework because we were pretty impressed. And then now we're all unanimously give him an A. Anybody have any comments they want to make before we move on?
I'll say something real quick, and then you can drop me from Kid Flash, because my comment on Kid Flash was kind of going to be a comparison combination of both of them.
Okay.
I think Jay's rework is great. His damage is so much better now. His can't miss is awesome, and Kid Flash, like, he just sucks. I almost voted him a trash tier, but Jay's damage is so good. Like, I noticed that Jay does more damage against greens than Kid Flash does against greens. So that was going to be my comparison. I think Jay's was a really good rework. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I really like Jay. I mean, the can't miss is awesome. Just a really good character all the way around. Turn meter manipulation, surprisingly good. And then I do agree with you on Kid Flash. We voted him a C in November. Initially, we gave him a B, kind of out of kindness, because it seemed like he might be improved. After a month of use, it looks like we're all giving him a C, except for you, Kage. You gave him a B.
Oh, I'm yawning a lot. That's why I'm breathing heavily. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay.
What's going on with you today, Kage?
No, I'm just tired. I just think who are we talking about? Kid Flash being a B versus you guys being a C.
Yeah.
I think he does well in meter denial with his basic and with his AoE. So I think those are pretty cool abilities, but you just never would really use them if you have Black Flash. But if you use them in conjunction with Black Flash, you'll probably shine a little bit better. I used him frequently in the Siege with the other Speedsters, and he did well. I didn't. If there's only a department where he lacks his damage, but that's really not that big of a deal if you understand that he's just a control character. So I don't see him that terrible like you guys do, but not a character I would use personally. I still think he's a decent character.
I used him once. He got me locked out of the match. I didn't use him again.
Well, that's not his fault.
Still. Next on the list, we were revisiting Cersei. It looks like everyone's still going to give her an S except for one person, so we'll just keep her as an S. Green Arrow Castaway. This was a big one. I added him to the list. I wanted to bump him down to an A. M4, it looks like you agree. If you want to discuss him.
Yes, I did think about Cersei and Castaway in the same vein. It's the Black Flash effect. But Cersei I kept as an S because she's still the fastest purger. And you bring her because of the purge, not necessarily the turn meter down. It's additional. But for Castaway, for the longest time, the only faster AoE turn meter down move is Kid Flash, who no one ever uses. So Castaway has his value. But now, I think Black Flash just invalidates him. He's still very good. He can still do those out-of-turn pokes, but his main shtick, which is turn meter down, there's just a new sheriff in down.
And to a lesser, well, you have Impulse, you have Black Flash. It just seems like the list has gotten a lot larger. And then you have the Cerseis of the world who do something else with it, or the Piggy who does it with a stun. So you got his niche is kind of faded away. It looks like there's 3 votes for A, so it looks like we'll move him down. Even Loot voted him A. I'm really kind of shocked by that.
I know it pains me because I have him RB5.
Next on the list is Red Hood, who we had as S tier. It looks like M4, you wanted to discuss him as well.
Did I? But sure.
No, you didn't. I'm sorry. Yeah, but we had 3 A's, 2 S's. Anybody have any comments as to Sheriff if you want to keep him an S for a particular reason over bumping him down?
No, I mean, I think he's still good. I don't have any, particular reason, anything that's changed in my mind. I think he's, he still is like the best bleeder. Heal immunity for those revive teams is super important. He's still got good damage. So I think he's still very potent and vital.
Well, you got to add on that, his bleeds don't miss. So even if his attacks miss, his bleeds don't miss. They'll stick on you. You'll get heal immunity, and he's a very aggressive red to deal with because you don't want to leave him last. You want to kill him first when you're fighting him. Oftentimes, there are other targets, that I'll put an asterisk next to that statement because oftentimes he is the primary target when you fight him. And then if he lands a kill on your team, you're losing buffs and turn meter. And so, there might be Lobo and Black Flash in town to steal turn meter from you. Remember, Red Hood can really carry you, especially as a 10.5 player. He can really help you punch above your weight class.
Yeah.
So that's why I still think he's a very, very good.
But this is Endgame, though, right?
So just because we're playing Endgame doesn't mean Josh Roars isn't doing well either.
No, but our ratings are supposed to be geared towards Endgame, so I don't feel
Isn't
like
he-
he's...
Isn't
he's
he
a
also
character-
playing top?
He's a great tool, but I don't feel like he's S tier
But
level.
Josh Roars is playing top 20, so where do you draw the line with, Endgame,
Doesn't mean Joshua is a rate him S tier either.
Well, you have to ask him. But he's still a very good character for Endgame either way.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's very good. I just don't think he's quite S tier.
He's very good, but I think he's a counter toon. That's what I think.
Yeah.
I only bring him when I'm lazy or I have to deal with those revive toons. But otherwise, you see Red Hood bring Lex or Martian Manhunter, he's never going to get a turn. Red Hood teams are super easy to beat, right? You just use him to counter.
I mean, every team is easy to beat. Let's be real here. You have all the characters unlocked and geared.
All right, moving on. He got demoted to A based on the scoring. Artemis. This one kind of pained me to downvote her, but I feel like mine feels like S tier because I'm RB5, but outside of RB5, when I really look at, especially when I face her, I don't think she's quite S tier, so I had to downvote her. Kage, you kept her as an S, so I'll let you make some comments here.
I mean, my Artemis sometimes gets clapped by L5 Artemis too. If you don't bring a strong green or an aggressive character to deal with her, she ramps up, it's game over. She's gaining shields, she's getting stamina. It's hard to beat down, and she's also dealing a lot of damage to your team too. She's also one of the unique reds that can also do a turn 0 attack as well as doing stuns as well. So she's got a lot in her kit, like we've originally said. So I stick by my comments. Still a top tier red to have in your pocket.
Yeah, I still really like her, but I'm just not quite S tier with her based on I'm trying to keep a lot of the characters that are really potent. Donna Troy, I added her to the list. Sheriff,
where do you draw the line on S tier though? Because I mean, you're saying, oh, I feel like Castaway's not there anymore, or Red Hood's not there anymore. I mean, where do you drawing your feelings from, man?
I mean, look at the S tierest of all reds.
Azrael?
Yeah, Azrael. I mean, that's that's kind of. There's been a new bar set with Black Flash and Azrael and Lex and Martian Manhunter.
I mean, is Azrael still? I mean, is he S tier though? If you stun him, if you purge his true sight, is he really doing anything?
Azrael is. If you put him on your team, he carries your team. Where Artemis, she does at RB5, but I don't think she does outside of RB5, and I try not to put my votes based on being RB5. I
mean, RB5's not doing too much. Let's be real here.
Artemis is pretty significant.
I mean, I personally don't see the value in RB, but maybe it's the wallet getting in the way. I'm not sure if there's the wallet bias.
RB5 though, so that you're ranking her higher right now. So.
I mean, I don't RB any of the other characters either, and I still think they're really good characters. So I don't have an RB Red Hood. I think he's an S tier character.
Well, speaking of characters that you still think is S tier that I'm ready to downgrade is Donna Troy. So, Sheriff, you had some comments on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I have a RB5 Donna Troy, and I used her a bunch, but it's kind of piggybacking off of the conversation that you all just had. Given the conjunction of Martian Manhunter, Azrael, and now Black Flash, she's just not as useful. You can use Martian Manhunter for the same turn one protection awareness plus the speed bump. And now with Azrael, you actually want your taunters to get hit so he can counterattack, and that, awareness can sometimes get in the way of that as well. So, I think definitely with these new, super S tunes, she's fallen in usefulness.
I feel the same way. Like my Donna Troy's RB5, yet she dies faster than I can't. I have a hard time keeping her alive anymore. So I really get disappointed in her pretty regularly. It just seems like she isn't the tank that she was before, and you don't really care about the buff turn meter up as much as you used to. I still think she's a really good character, but just not quite what I liked. It looks like M4, Loot, and Kage kept her S tier, so she'll survive another month. I don't see too many people using her anymore either. I almost never face her.
She's really good with her cooldown move. I think that's her main thing now, as opposed to the turn zero protection. Like you mentioned, Martian Manhunter kind of does it. But the cooldown and the moves, it's still a really good skill. She does it for free.
All right, next on the list is Flash. And it looks like we all had him in A. We're moving him down to B. Kage, you wanted to talk about him?
Who?
Flash, your name was written on there.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know why my name's on there.
Oh, okay, you didn't vote either, but it looks like we all took him from an A to a B. All the other Flashes kind of outdo him. He's so much better on defense than he is on offense, so he's a character that looks like needed to get demoted. Next on the list was Bane. We all had him as, originally we had him as B. It looks like everyone is moving him down to a C. So any quick comments on that one? He's just power crapped horribly.
Yeah.
Takes too long to ramp. Is nuked by all the insane greens. I know a lot of
And so many, and then so many buff immunity moves out there now.
Yeah, there's going to be people that complain about it in the lower gear level. At the lower gears, he's still very good. The higher gears, he is pretty worthless. Next on the list was Beast Boy. It looks like he was an A. Everyone pretty much unanimously agreed to move him down to a B. So not a whole lot.
I don't want to earn Zuba's fire, so I'm gonna stay out of this one.
There's just better options. Black Canary, she was a B. I was ready to move her down to a C. Loot wants to take her to trash tier. M4 and Sheriff Lobo agree with C. Anyone have any comments on that one? She's another one, she needs a rework desperately. She'd be great for a rework too, I think.
Yeah, she's a great solo toon, but on a team she's really hard to get going. That all or nothing is just impossible to hit.
Yeah, I tried to play her around as lead with Impulse, and she didn't do much.
I did the same thing. That's very disappointed. Connor Kent, he was a B. Probably should have moved to C earlier. I was stubbornly trying to make him work. M4, you wanted to make some comments on him?
All right, OC3, I'm sorry, but his main thing, Jay Garrick does much better. The Kent miss basic, and also Jay Garrick has the strength ups for free in the beginning, which Connor Kent desperately needs. So yeah, unless he's RB5, he's probably not going to do much for you.
Next we have Deadshot Hired Gun. We had him as an A. Looks like we're all pretty in agreement on moving it to a B. his usefulness with his leader is dwindling as more and more faster tunes come to life. So you really can't use him as leader, and outside of leader, he's not that great. So he's still very useful in certain situations, but being just a unique tool, that puts him in B category. Next on the list was Emerald Archer Green Arrow. We had him as an A tier, probably way too long. He's one of those ones that needed to be moved a while ago. Looks like most of us have him as a B. Loot even wants to put him down to a C. I think B is probably more fair, but he definitely is not the powerhouse he used to be. Next on the list is Hush. We had him as a B. Looks like we're all pretty much in agreement moving him to a C. Loot would take him to trash tier.
I don't even know how he ended up as B.
I don't either, to be honest with you. I think we were way too generous.
Yeah, probably.
Next on the list, Man-Bat. Who was in our alliance that just took him to RB3?
Streets Ahead, I
Yeah,
believe.
sorry, Streets Ahead, but looks like we're all pretty on board with a C. M4, you want to keep him as a B?
Yeah, he's crit immune, one of the better disease characters. I know. I'm on the fence on this one, but I don't think he's that terrible.
I think he's pretty bad. I mean, every time I use him, he just does nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I wouldn't lump him with Bane.
When Amazo came out, I tried to play around with some disease teams with Ross and Man-Bat and Amazo and Chemo. And I mean, Man-Bat, every green that's on every team now just demolishes him. Like Martian Manhunter, Lex, Arcus, one of those is on every single team you face, and they just demolish him. And I could not, even, with all the diseases I was pumping out, like, you just can't keep up, can't survive, and he's dead.
Even Tootie doesn't use him on his disease teams. That's saying something.
All right, I guess. All right, C it is.
Ocean Master. Another one I'm kind of surprised we kept it in B as long as we did. Looks like we're all pretty much in agreement on a C. He doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, he just dies. His skip is interesting, but can't do it if he's dead. And he seems to have like another one of those bad gear sets. And I believe he also has that mixed damage where one of his moves is special damage. I think that's one of the reasons he's bad. So,
With a good rework, he could be a very interesting, cool character.
yeah, a little tweak. He can get there.
I use him a lot actually in red alerts. I never use him in PvP, but I actually use him a lot in red alerts for the buffs and the shields and speed ups. So he has some uses, but yeah, he's not useful in PvP at all.
Well, now that Black Flash is out, I don't use anything else in red alerts. Black Flash auto. Thanks. Next on the list, we have Swamp Thing. He's another one that probably sat in a little too long. He's a good character, but he's just, with all the characters that come out and so many things, he's kind of just been a little left behind. So, looks like we're in agreement on B. Any comments? We're actually getting close to the end of the list, so if you want to... weirdly enough, this is our fastest episode ever.
I was just thinking that, like, this is faster. We have like 3 times the tunes, and we've gone through it quicker than we did.
Well, Loot is not here, and Kage's being very disengaged, so.
Usually we all 5 talk, yeah. But we're pretty in agreement on most of this stuff, so, to my surprise, with the exception of a few. Yeah, Swamp Thing, B, good character still, but he's just been power crap. And then Wally West, we've had him as an A. I think the entire community has disagreed with us on Wally West ever since he's come out. We've kind of probably ranked him a little higher than he deserved forever. So he's been an A for a long time. Looks like we're all pretty in agreement on a B. You just don't need it anymore.
Yeah, because of Impulse. He's no longer the fastest tune.
But even before that, for a little, there was a couple of sieges where you used him, but after that, it just seemed like he kind of faded off. Good character. He's annoying on defense. because he always fades. Comes back to life.
Right, he's the same as Impulse. If he uses his 2, you know you're in trouble, so you have to kind of like skirt around it. But now you don't care because there's Impulse.
Yeah.
Oh God, I was on mute the whole time. Ah.
All right, time. You need to bleep that. Timestamp.
I'm just gonna delete the curse words. I'm gonna leave it in. Have you been chiming in this whole time, Kage?
Yeah, I've been trying to chime in and like I'm like, why are you guys ignoring me? What the hell's going on? Man.
Well, it made it quick.
All right. Well, whatever. Just keep going.
But that was the last one. So if you have any comments about any of the characters we've talked about, that you have any real major
Yeah.
things you want.
One of my biggest takes is probably Black Adam was never that good, but everyone was like on the Black Adam hype train
I got off
for the
it.
longest time.
I got off it with you. I
Yeah,
still don't think.
so-
I think he's a beat character, actually.
Yeah, honestly, why don't we just demote Black Adam? Like, he cleans
And more
up.
would be like over my dead body.
No, it's okay.
I mean,
I don't use him anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
Except-
he cleans up, but his auto just sucks because he opens his 3 when you want to open his 2.
I really don't. I mean, I think he's been like he does not carry the weight. Sheriff Lobo, what would you give him today?
I don't know. I mean, he's still like, if you want to clear things fast, he's good for that. But I have not pulled him out for PvP in a long time.
Yours is RB5 too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not RB5, I probably won't use him.
Okay, then that's a B tier character. Another demotion.
The mighty has fallen.
Well, I mean, you guys make your own opinion about Black Adam. I just haven't used him unless it's PvE day.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
Alliance
no, I mean,
missions?
you're right though.
Well, even in PvE, it's Black Flash now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
Black Flash. I don't even. Yeah.
I haven't used them in PvE in a while either. It's, I mean, it's, that's what this episode was about, was to kind of look through some of these tunes that were sitting a little higher than they should based on their legacy and not what they are today.
So, I mean, Cheetah, I don't think is S tier. No, she's not even S tier. She's still A, right?
Yeah, I think she's A.
Yeah.
I'd keep
I
her.
feel like my personal thing too with her is like mine just dies all
She
the
does
time.
die too fast. If she didn't die so
And, like-
fast, she might be higher, but
And then she's like for me, her blood in the air just like never procs.
I've
You know,
never
the
seen it proc one time. Not once.
but the enemy team, like, holy shit, they're swimming in strength ups, and their cheetah's clapping my legs and everything. But my cheetah just doesn't do anything.
Mine can get kills every now and again. That part she does okay. I'll one shot an Arcus here and there.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess that's the beauty of these tier lists. Is 5 of us have our different experiences with the tunes.
Yeah, but our boats are fairly close, I'd say. This month, at least, we're a little more on board with each other than we usually are.
Well, I was on mute the whole time, so.
All right, guys. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here. Keep it to
All right.
34 minutes. Shorter than our usual episodes, with 3 times as many tunes. So.
Next episode, we talk about stocks and the stock market and gambling, how it's great for you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so long,
We'll
everyone.
talk about Kage's life savings loss next episode. All right, guys.
Later.
Thank you for listening to WROL Broadcast. If you like the show, consider becoming a Patreon. Just go to patreon.com/WRL Broadcast for awesome perks. We also wanted to wish Bizarro well and sad to see him leave. Also, his sugar baby, Tootitron, says bye as well.